Coming around quick.
Right, give me one, two, three. Welcome everyone to MG Racing's Galway Day 4 preview with Gary Toohey and Mark Fanning. Mark, how are you this morning?
I'm great, Gary. Little less sleep than I would have wanted, but you know what? It's what Galway's all about: meeting people, meeting old friends, having a bit of crack, and enjoying some good racing.
I don't know about having a crack, Mark. Going by your Instagram stories, you just seem to be annoying the shit out of people. But look, whatever's for you.
Um, it's a 9 a.m. slot, Gary. We should keep this PG. I'd probably do annoy people, but you know what? I don't mean any harm. I even brought the traffic warden out for a drink last night.
Oh, just anyone who listened into our day 3 preview will have heard Mark got in a small bit of trouble yesterday morning, but obviously great to hear that he's in the clear. We'll just recap really quickly on day 3. Another frustrating day full of crossbars. This song for you, 8th one place. Baranaculia, 22 to 1 place. Visionary, 18 to 1 place in the Galway Plate. Aura Princess tipped up a 4th one place, second. Tagman was a painful second as well, a 4th one. And Shanwalla in that slowly, brutally run race of the last race was 10 to 1 place as well. Frustrating day, Mark.
Frustrating day, Gary. We hit the crossbar, as you said. I thought Aora Princess is probably our most unlucky loser for you. I thought she should have definitely won.
I'd agree in a sense, but I think Tagman, geez, I thought Rachel gave Tagman a great ride. Maybe I think jumping the last, kind of jumped a small bit out to his left. Now look, Paul probably had plenty left in the tank, but
Yeah.
just Tagman, I was very impressed with the run from Tagman now as well.
Tagman ran a cracker. Travelled in, thought it was definitely, I thought we were after collecting there and went out to a lovely price as well. But yeah, I think there was a little bit left up the sleeve with Paul. Two good horses going forward, I think, in that maiden.
And this song for you, obviously, geez, I thought in the last 500 meters we had this song for you up, but obviously finished third in the end. But no, listen, another cracking day race and another cracking day for Danny Gilligan as we move on to day 3. So we start off day 3. It's an early start today. It's a 10 past 2. It's a Guinness beginners chase of 17 grand for 5-year-olds plus. This, at the top of the market, we got Paul Martin's Joye Machin for Paul Nolan, and then Willie has got Sir Agus, and then Mars Harper there for Gordon and Sam Ewing. Mark, this seems to be a 2-horse race. Which one are you
I'm
siding
going
with?
with I'm glad you pronounced the name first, Joyo Machine, for Paul Nolan. I was in Wexford. He won a hurdle that day, gave a lot of weight around and absolutely slew him. But came back to Wexford for a beginner's chase and finished in behind Ballyadam. But looked all over the winner going to the last and just made an absolute horrendous mistake. Now we can't make those mistakes around here. Comes back to 2 miles 6. I think we'll have a little bit of more steam left in the tank to get up that hill. Sean Flanagan, very good rider, and I just think that this could be going from back to the Wexfords, the colours and the colours trainer, Paul Nolan for Joyo Machine.
The yellow bellies over in Wexford. Yeah, so look, I don't know if it's a good thing. I'm going to join you on the Joye Machine bandwagon today. Yeah, I think that run the last day in Wexford, obviously apart from that howler at the last, Joy Machine ran like absolute cracker on Chase debut. So I guess now look again, obviously don't ride off a Willie horse. Drifting this morning a small bit from 7 to 4 out to 9 to 4. Brian Hayes is on board. Very interesting that Paul isn't riding. I'm not too sure what's going on there. Maybe he has other engagements. He just can't make 10 past 2. But Sir Agus obviously wouldn't ride off as well. Won a maiden hurdle in Cork back in April. Ran in a handicap hurdle at the end of April in Punchdown as well. Came a very good third behind Killybeck King and Let's Go Champ. But yeah, no, listen, I think we're both in agreement there. Joye Machine roughly around the 7 to more 4 mark with all firms. So we'll move on to the next race, Mark, which is the Guinness Open Gate Brewery Novice Chase. Grade 3 of 40 grand. Again, this is a class race, I think, Mark. We just talked about Ballyadam there. Obviously, Joye Machine has a bit of form. So look, I do think Willie will win this and Mark and Paul will win this. But if Joye Machine runs a cracker in the first, Ballyadam is surely something to think about
Yeah,
here.
definitely. My thoughts exactly. But this is, as you said, this is a class race. This novice chase, grade 3. I think they all have the top on to beat. It was around 6 to 4 last night, I think, in places. But look, the JP money's coming 4 to 5 now. Only thing is the weight, a lot of weight to carry. But look, has beaten a lot of these convincingly before. One I like each way though is down is a mare. She's getting the allowance. Willie and Danny combine here with Hea. Fifth in the Galway hurdle last year behind Tudor City. Um, and ran a couple of cracking races then in handicap hurdles after that. But opened his account in Tramore, albeit obviously a lower graded race, but was good enough that day. And I just think for the each way players, look, I think Hercule Desai will win. But I think maybe this one could be the one to fill the top three. Kenny Alexander, of course, knows a good mare when he sees one.
Yeah, no, interesting point there with the mayor's allowance. I'm always intrigued about mayors obviously getting big allowances like this in races like this. Now, sometimes, most times than other, if a horse is good enough to win, they'll win, and that's why I think Hercule de Soil will win this race. I would oppose you with High just today. I know we're getting the allowances and everything, but if I had to take Hercule de Soil on, I probably would go with Ballyadam. Obviously, look, Ballyadam is very, very well seasoned at this stage. Has been there, has done it. Obviously, he's won in Wexford already as well. So, I'm actually so confused about this race. I want to go with the Fav, but I hate obviously backing odds on shots. So I'm actually, do you know what? Feck it. I'm going to go with Ballyadam here. Ballyadam's 5-1. It should be an each way shot to nothing. Rachel and Henry. Was second behind Hercule Desai back in May in Ballinrobe. Now look, it was 13 lengths. It was beat into no man's land. But look, if Hercule Desai makes any mistakes or God forbid if something happens, Ballyadam should be there to pick up the pieces. So I'm going to go with Ballyadam each way there, Mark.
Yeah, perfect, Gary. I wouldn't disagree with you there, but I just going for the bit of value there, tens each way myself.
So we're both taking on Hercule Desai, Ohio and Ballyadam. Moving on to 320. It's the Rockshore refreshingly Irish handicap of 17.5 grand for 4-year-olds plus. I absolutely despise Rockshore. Sorry if anyone's listening from Rockshore. I'm very sorry, but I don't like your alcohol. No More Porter obviously ran.
That's a good pun now.
The other day. Oh, that's 2 puns this week now. I should be writing a book on all
You're
these
the
puns.
king of the puns, Gary. You're the king of the puns.
I'm not the king of punting. That's one thing for sure. Anyway, so No More Porter ran here on Tuesday. Right now, just ran a cracker on Tuesday. Came second, behind Encore. Now look, the fair bit in markets, or sorry, Cordor. Jesus Christ. It has been kind of supported very well, smally overnight. It looks absolutely rock solid. What's your opinion on this race, Mark?
Yeah, look, I'm going to go and give a fella here a bit of a chance again. Gamba Veloce ran the other day, obviously, but got no run through the race. And I think Dylan Brown was kind of easy enough for him in the end. Connor Stone Walsh comes in, takes 7 off his back and 9-7, so brings him to 9 stone. Still drawn in 12 a bit high, but look, I just take a chance of it. We had he's 4-1 the other day, he's 11s now, so I'm just going to go small bit of a bet each way on Gamba Veloce for Joseph and Connor Stone Walsh here.
You're going back to the well, Mark. You're going back to the well.
Well, I don't want to be sitting there and be saying, look, we backed him the other day and got no run at 4s, and now all of a sudden he comes up and like there was support around him. Joseph never, Joseph. There's no support without Joseph. Out backing it up most of the time, and I just think he got no run. He got a bit of a bum coming out of stalls, and I think his race is over from the stalls. Like so, just to give him a little bit of a chance at 11-1, I think he's definitely worth having a little fiver each way.
No, in fairness, Mark, I suppose that's for people who don't usually punt at Galway. Obviously, a lot of horses would have double entries. Some would even have triple entries. So, yeah. God forbid if your horse didn't get a clear run of a Monday or Tuesday and was entered for Thursday or Friday, I think you'd be silly not to go back in again. Now, I backed Laugh if you want the other day. I won't be going back in. I don't think there's any heartfelt story there. This does seem to be an easier paper on race and everything, but no, I won't be back in Laugh if you want again. One that does interest me there is Metabolt. Obviously, you know me, my speed ratings, Mark. Metabolt's last couple of runs have been very good on the clock. The last 3 runs have been very good on the clock. Now, No More Porter's clock the last day was excellent. So I do think No More Porter is the one to beat But I'm hoping there's a small bit of a drift on Metabolt this morning for Dave Loughnane. Dave Loughnane is obviously a local trainer in Galway, but he's been over around, I suppose, the market raising area in the UK for the last 7 or 8 years, and he brings one over. Chris Hayes, right? So I will be on Metabolt later on in the morning, fingers crossed with a drift in price. So we're going for Metabolt and Gambe Valachi against No More Porter there in the 320. Moving on to the 355, it's a 7 furlong listed race. This is a decent race now, Mark. It's the Arthur Guinness Irish EBF Corrib stakes of 52.5 grand for 3-year-olds plus.
A fair price fund.
Sorry?
It's a fair price fund, isn't it?
It's a fair price fund, is right, for a listed race in Galway. Dandy Man at top of the market there. Or sorry, Dandy Ali at the top of the market, obviously out of Dandy Man for Ralph Beckett and Colin Keane. It's around 10 to 3 mark. This is a fierce open race. Now, I have one here that I have a very keen interest on, and that is Keep in Touch. Keep in Touch ran a cracker the last day. And again, going back to my speed ratings, clock the last day for give me a second now. I must have losing my place here now. For Keep in Touch was very good. Chris Hayes done well combined. So I'm going to go with Keep in Touch, roughly around the 5 to 1 mark. Who are you interested in there, Mark?
Yeah, this is a cracking race, Gary. I think I'm going to side with All Eyes Ahead. I really fancy this one, and for William McCreary, Nathan Cross. 9 to 1 last night, and now into 11 to 2. I was surprised actually. I only checked the price a minute ago. See, it was into 11 to 2, but it's going to relish the conditions. I just think William McCreary is so good with these fillies, and yeah, I think Nathan Cross is definitely stepping out of the shadows now of his brother and really applying his trade. So I think All Eyes Ahead there is definitely a cracking. Like, he was a cracking each way player last night. Still getting 5.5 to 1. So yeah, All Eyes Ahead for me each way. I wouldn't put anyone off Keep in Touch though. Um, Won around here last year, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Mide Lair, and his visor for the first time as well. So yeah, no, I definitely a shout for Keep in Touch, but I'm just going to go with All Eyes Ahead here for Drawn Lovely in stall 1 as well for Nathan Cross and Willie McCreary.
Yeah, All Eyes Ahead now ran last time in Curran, 26th of May, and now came 17 to 20 runners. But look, obviously those big field handicaps in the Curran, sometimes you can take them with a pinch of salt. Yeah, interesting enough there with All Eyes Ahead. And even look, again, we're not affiliated to anyone, but like, I love getting a bit of each way value in small kind of fields like this. Like Bet365 are going 4 places with this. So if anyone does have an account with Denise and can get on, now look, we're not talking about big money. All Lies Ahead is 6 to 1. In each way, four places with Bet365. So listen, I think that's a no-brainer if you can get 4 places. Keep in Touch has been backed really from 5 to 1 into 7 to 2, 9 to 2 in some places, but no, solid money there for All Lies Ahead, Mark. 9 to 1 into 11 to 2 in most places. So we're going for Keep in Touch and All Lies Ahead in the Arthur Guinness Irish EBF Corb Stakes. Moving on to the 430, which is the big one. It's the Guinness Novice Hurdle. Sorry, it's not the big one. It's the 505. It's a Guinness Novice Hurdle. 11 declared for this race. At the top of the market, we've got John McConnell and Ben Harvey with Encanto Bruno. This horse has been very impressive. Won a maiden in Bellysound back in the 8th of July. Was 13 lengths clear of the field. And this is going about its business very nicely, Mark. Now obviously ran in Cheltenham in the champion bumper. It was 11 to 21 runners, 17 lengths behind the Dream to Share. No, nothing too disgraceful about that. Willie obviously has What Pat, Horanso Dairy, and Pink in the Park. This is a decent race, Mark. Short go, big Diane. Like, there's plenty of good horses in this race.
Yeah, this is a deep race. Like, 11 runners, but it's a class little race. Yeah, John McConnell very rarely leaves any of these big festivals now without a winner. A mutual friend of ours, I'd say, is one of our biggest fans, Brian, there back in Turles. But Ben Harvey, of course, cracking little rider, still claiming 3. Wouldn't put you off it, but I'm sweet on What Pat here for William Paul. I think this lad is my nap of the day. I was looking back in his form there, won a bumper around here last year at the festival. Pulled up in his first run over hurdles, but made amends for that winning his next 2 starts very convincingly, especially the last day. So I'm actually going to make what Pat here. I thought he'd be shorter than this. You think you can get around 7-2 at the minute? I thought he was definitely going to be max 5-2. So I'm going to make him my napper today. What Pat for William Mullins Paul Townend.
Yeah, Mark, I'm actually going to follow you in there as well. Again, going back to my speed data, ran a really good race the last day. Obviously below in Killarney, or sorry, below in Kilbeggan, won by 11 lengths to Stuskini. And yeah, look, has Galway form as well. And look, obviously Paul and Willie. Paul has three nice rides today. Now, what Pat was roughly around 92 last night, 3-1 this morning. But look, you're expecting that Paul and Willie horses will always be backed in regardless of their chances in a race. But no, I'm sweet on what Pat as well. I really looked into this race last night because, like, the short go and the big Diane really interest me as well at each way prices. And I thought maybe one or two of those could maybe pick up a second or third place. But I just kept getting drawn to what Pat.
Yeah,
And
no,
look,
sorry.
again, it probably is the Paul and Willie factor to kind of throw a bit of tax on top of that as well. But no, I'm in agreement with you there, Mark.
Jesus, I need to save that soundbite for future reference. You're in agreement with me.
This
No. Look, I'm going. And all jokes aside, though, no, I went definitely back through the form. Went watched the replays. This, uh, this son of Coastal Pat really impressed me. Really impressed me.
Right. So in the 4:30, both going for what Pat. Right, moving on to the big one. The 505, the Guinness Galway Handicap Hurdle, grade 3 of 270 grand. This is a class race. Zarek the Brave obviously jumping into Grade Company for the first time, getting in off 142. Filey Bay for JP and Emmett Mullen, Simon Torrance rides. Then you got Brazil for JP as well, Padraig Roach, Merlin Giant, Glan, my mate Mozzie. Like Jesus, where'd you start with this? This is a class race, Mark.
Yeah, class race. Look again, the hurdle and the plate. The two feature races of the week for a reason, and again, it's wide open. Tudor City going for history here to be the first horse to win three in a row. I can thank George McDonough for that stat. I was listening to Galway Bay FM on the way home last night.
Man,
He's
George,
some he's some fountain of knowledge, George. But
he's some crack, he is.
it's brilliant. Like listen to that to the Galway Bay every week at the racing there. If you don't get to you probably head away after before the last, and you can listen to there and the commentary cuts in. They do a great job, Galway Bay, and George is he's the Jimmy McGee of Galway.
Jimmy, a fair statement, no, Mark.
Yeah.
Now,
Right.
yeah, look, right, going through the race. So, look, Zarek the Brave, obviously comes in here with more potential than anything else. It's a 4-year-old, and I don't think a 4-year-old has won this race in 20 something years, I think. Now, obviously, ran the last day in O2 and Otai, was third 10 runners. Then before that in Punchtown came second of 8, and I was only a length and a half behind Lossiemouth. So, look, and come here, his last two runs, I suppose, in Ireland, Punchtown and Fairyhouse, combined 5.5 lengths behind Lossiemouth. I think that form enough, I suppose, deserves our Act Brave to be favourite.
Yeah, I think all positives for Zarek the Brave. 4-year-old mightn't have won it, but it should suit the 4-year-olds. As you said, ran around some really nice company and still relatively unexposed. I'm going to go for 2 in the race. I don't know. Have you picked your selections yet, or?
I have. I'm not giving my cards away. You go first.
Right. I'm going to go for 2 in the race. I'm normally doing the big handicaps, and I'm going to go for Nolan Meads, Sean Flanagan combination. Sean will be on a high after winning the first. Jesse Evans for me, second in the race last year. Some cracking form, and of course was last seen winning on the flat. In the qualified riders, Declan Avery got up late there to beat Tax for the Max around Leopardstown. So for me, Jesse Evans each way 12s, and the other one I like each way then is Willie and Danny with in the colours of Susanna Ritchie is Bailey Stock. Yeah, I was looking at this. Son of Zoffany, definitely an eye catcher for me in his last two runs, and beat actually Tax for the Max over hurdles around Punchestown in a Grade B handicap in Punchestown there in April very convincingly, and there was nearly 20 runners I think in the race. Danny rode it that day and keeps the ride. So for me, my two each way selections are Bailey Stock and Jesse Evans.
I give you a C for pronunciation there. I think it's by stock. I don't think you pronounce the L, Mark. But
I need
listen,
to go
once
back
got
and take French. I was actually suspended for French. So
I wouldn't be surprised if you were suspended from school, full stop. But we might have, when Galway's over, before the arc, we might get some French lessons for both of us. I might need to top up on it as well. But
Yeah,
no, buy stock's very interesting, Mark. No, I have to agree with you there. It's a very interesting runner. Um, Again, like if anyone's again tuning in for Galway and they're not really into punting or horses for the first time, like don't ever be worried about a Willie horse being off the track for so long. This horse will be fit as a fiddle. Obviously it hasn't run since the 25th of April, but don't ever worry about a Willie Mullins horse being off the track. Yeah, so
no,
I've two as well, Mark. I have to go for one JP. Look, you know, JP, it could be like even the bloody non-runners could win this race. You just don't know with JP. But I'm going to go with Filey Bay. Two reasons. One is been there, done that. Has plenty of experience, I suppose, in big handicap races. Was third in Cheltenham back in March at the festival of 24 runners. So look, has big handicap experience. Was 8 to 14 then in Roscommon back at the 4th of July. Now look, that was obviously just a pipe opener. Interesting enough, Glon won that race, and obviously Glon reopposes here as well. But I've just gone with Filey Bay for two reasons. Obviously, has got the big field handicap experience. It's on the time form. The time form is very good as well. And actually, three reasons. It's got the white cap. So fingers crossed. I'm hoping the white cap is the cap today. And then I'm going for My Mate Mozzie. Obviously, the colours obviously won the Galway plate yesterday. Gavin Cromwell knows the time of day. Ran on the flat back in the 11th of July in Tramore. Was first of 10 runners. Beat Whom's Haza and Barnacula in a kind of a pipe opener there. So look, hasn't run over hurdles in, I think it's well over a year at this stage. So I would imagine, just like the Galway plate winner yesterday for the same colours, this has been the plan for the full year. And obviously those colours and those owners gave a very colourful interview on RT and Racing TV yesterday. So I'm hoping the boys in the blue and orange, or the sky blue and orange, have the same plan laid out for My Mate Mozzie. What's your thoughts there, Mark?
yeah, to be some big race double, wouldn't it? Gavin Cromwell, of course, he's definitely one of the stalwarts of the training ranks, and Keane Quirk, valuable £5 claimer. So yeah, to be some double, alright.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, I didn't do the double yesterday because it'd be great if you could talk to the owners before races and see the confidence behind them. But
Yeah,
hindsight's the great thing.
sure. Look,
So just confirm there in the Galway hurdle there today. So my selections are Filey Bay for Emmett Mullen, Simon Torrance, and JP McManus. My Mate Mozzie for Gavin Quirk, Keane Quirk, and Mark, you are going for Jesse Evans for Noel Mead and Sean Flanagan, and a buy stock for Danny Mullins and Willie Mullins.
lovely.
Moving on to the second last race of the day. And it kind of comes like an anticlimax after a big race like this. But look, we'll move on anyway.
It does. It's hard to even. It's kind of like trying to watch a football match after watching the All Ireland hurling or something, isn't it?
Yeah, I was saying that I'm actually doing commentating on a football game tonight, so don't jinx it for me. Mark, actually, sorry, for the 540, I actually texted you last night. I think I may have found one here myself. So this is the Guinness handicap over 1 mile 4 furlongs. Now, this is a bit of a lottery. Now, Mark, just looking at the markets there this morning, I texted you last night about this horse, and I'm raging now I didn't get on. It's the Yvonne Latty and Shane Foley horse Spring Evening. Now, I texted you last night. What price the horse? 20 to 1? 18 to 1?
Yeah, something like that, alright.
The horse is now 12 to 1, 10 to 1 in most places. Spring Evening. Now, again, I'm just going back to my absolute. There's no calculations on it. This is speed ratings, data, etc. Spring Evening ran in a maiden hurdle the last day in Tipperary on 6th of July. Now, it was a decent force of 11 runners, only just under a length and a half behind Spinning Web. Now, its last run on the flat was on the 13th of May in Navan. Now, look, that run on the flat in Navan was basically his third run to get qualified for a handicap. So anyone who doesn't follow racing closely, you have to run on average 2 to 3 times in a maiden or in a race to get a handicap rating. So Spring Evening ran that day in Navan, came 6th and actually posted a very decent speed rating time, and then came out in July and ran a very decent race in a 3-year-old hurdle in Tipperary as well. So it's coming in here off 68, 9-4 on its back. Shane Foley rides, was 18s last night, is now 10-1 this morning. I'm absolutely raging. I didn't get on last night, but you get best odds guaranteed after 9 o'clock this morning. So Mark, my rant is over there. I give you some space here. Have you a selection for this race?
My head is all over the place after that. But you're giving him a fair shout. Hopefully he does the business for you, and I can back it up that you did actually text me, but I can't screenshot your messages because some of them, you're not a nice guy
Mark,
at times.
we're not past the watershed.
Oh,
Please do not disclose
it's
any
the 9
information.
a.m. slot. Sorry, I'll wait for the 9 p.m. slot for that. But
Yes.
no, I like one here for Willie Mullins. Agabai, Shamey Heffernan rides. When Willie and Shamey combine, they don't combine a whole pie, but when they do, they nearly always have the business in hand. But this lad ran over hurdles a few times since his last run. I think he ran on the flat for Kevin Prendergast back in the day. Um, he's 6 pounds lower than his last run on the flat. So for me, at 7 or 8 to 1, there he could be the one each way as well. Drawn a bit high, that's the only thing. But look, um, around a mile and a half, you can get the look, you can get the breaks, and they don't, you can slot in the time. So for me, I would like Agabai each way for Willie Mullins and Shamey Heffernan.
Agabai for Mark and Spring Evening for me. Fingers crossed now one of them come in, but as said, it's probably the first one all week I found I'm sweet on it. I suppose it's easy going to your handicap, your
Yeah.
big handicap races or your maiden hurdles, whatever like that, and say, oh yeah, really fancy one. But this one wasn't on my radar at all. And when I was going through this race last night, look again, Emmett has one there in those famous colours. Willie has a couple there as well. But look, this could be a false gamble as well. They might have a double entry later on somewhere next week, but I just think Spring Evening is very interesting and is my nap of the day. In the 6:10, the last
Fair
race,
statement.
the fair statement is right. But come here, listen, and I don't even like eggs, but there's definitely going to be eggs in my face come
I
later on
know.
this
Look,
evening.
it's all about an opinion, and these handicaps. You're like me. We like dissecting them, and you can like. There's normally weeks in these big festivals where I can get a nice little lucky 15. It just so happened it didn't click this week, but look, we put the time and we put the effort in, and look, they're prices for a reason. Hopefully, we click them together one of the days. But no, 100% would have been no egg in their face, Gary, when this lad sluices home.
Sluice at home, exactly. Yeah, and if this lad wins, I tell you, I'll be getting a limo to Galway there tonight to meet you. In
Oh,
the
great.
last race, this is actually very interesting. I looked at it originally when the market opened yesterday, and I was like, debt, taxes, willing the bumper. But now I'm still of the opinion of that. But Mark, Antrim Coast for Gavin Cromwell. This this yoke opened up, I think it was 16s or 14s on very first show yesterday. Now, I know you have to take first show with a pinch of salt, but still, this horse is now 3-1, 10-3 most places. So Antrim Coast there for Gavin Cromwell. It's a presenting horse. And Mark, look, it's very rare that a horse is backed. Like, look, we'll say generally 12s across the board. Threes now. That's a hell of a punt on a horse going up against a Willie Hotshot.
Yeah, it's a fair punt, all right, Gary, and Gavin knows his time of day when it comes to money. Um, don't know a whole pile about the rider, but if he's riding for Gavin, he's definitely capable. I think those colours. I think I think are they the soaring monarch colours who've won around here for the Fahies?
They are
Um,
indeed.
um, just a first glance. Look, 5-year-old Gelden by presenting. He's bred fairly well. So yeah, look, you'd follow the money there. Definitely follow the money there each way.
Yeah, and obviously, look, you backed those colours yesterday with Vigi on air, and Mark obviously came fifth in the Galway plate. So, look, you don't know. Maybe the connections had a small each way double when the prices first came out right before the Galway plate yesterday. I just find it very interesting. Now Willie's horse, I Will Be Bay, has been backed as well, evens into 8-11, 4-6 generally, 8-13 in some places. So there's still solid money for Willie's yoke. But if anyone's on Antrim Coast, at big each way prices, drop us an old message or a tweet there on Twitter and let us know. This does look like a real punt. So best of luck to all connections. It'd be great now if Antrim Coast came up and did the job. Now, so I don't have a selection here. I just find this race very interesting. Mark, I presume you don't have a selection either.
I'm going to go for one each way actually in the race.
Oh,
Harry Swan, Gordon Elliott, very well bred this mare by Shams Elise, Doctor Elise, if the French is right or wrong.
yeah, go on.
I just think at the price 9 or 10 to 1. look, you might even get 4 places in some of these places in the bumper. You're going to get top three anyway. Look, the favourite's going to be hard to beat on form, and of course, like Willie probably maps them out for these races every year, obviously, and of course Paddy. But for me, I'm just going to take a chance here. Little fiver each way bet on Dr. Lise in the last for Harry Swan and Gordon Elliott.
Go on, Marky boy, take it on Willie and taking on the money horse. Fair play, boy.
Taking
No,
Mama Gordon though, like, so it's not.
yeah.
It's not.
In fairness, now come here. One. Just I did spot it last night. Don't stop the music for Martin Brazel and Derek O'Connor. Now, this horse is bloody 20-1. It ran in a maiden hurdle at Leopardstown back on Stephen's Day. So look, obviously all those maiden hurdles around Christmas time, they're all decent maidens because Willie and Gordon and Henry and all the
Yeah.
big yards have all their decent horses on it. Now, it was 8 21 runners. Now, look, it was 27 lengths behind Dark Raven. Now, but a lot of these maiden races can fall apart when the front 3 or 4 go hell for leather up front and the chasing pack just fall behind. But Martin Brazen must have obviously thought something decent of this horse to enter at Leopardstown on Stephen's Day. It is a calf Tara horse. It's 20-1. And look, it has jumping experience. And like those maiden hurdles, you imagine maiden hurdles obviously are a lot more competitive than bumpers 9 times out of 10. So I wouldn't put anyone off. Like 25-1 at Bet365, 20-1 generally. I'm nearly tempted. I'm nearly have to talk myself into bloody backing this yoke. Don't stop the music. I might have a fiver each way at 20-1 with just the hope that the horse is just completely priced out of it because maybe look, it didn't bomb out in a maiden hurdle. I watched it back. The front pack just went hell for leather up front. So feck it. I'm gonna have a fiver each way and don't stop the music at 20s in the lucky last. Now again, both of us will definitely have egg in our face when Willie wins the last. And the debt taxes Willie in the bumper, and we'll never learn our lesson. But at the value, I like we're both taking on the Fav with 16-1 and 20-1 shots, Marky.
Yeah, no, do you know what, Gary? I actually looked at this last night. Don't stop the music. I'm a big fan of Martin Brazel, and of course these colours he is, and they're synonymous now with him. And of course they have runners in a lot of the big yards now. Sean Burnett, Mulrun, Derek Connor taking the ride. But I was very interested when I seen that. I did run in the maiden hurdle around Christmas. And do you know what? If I didn't go for Gordon, I was actually going to go for this lad each way. I thought very shrewd connections coming here for the bumper.
And like for anyone who likes their backing without markets, you can back. So with our two selections, Dr. Elise's and Don't Stop the Music, you can back him without the Willie Fav. Around 10-1 for my one and around 8-1 for Gordon's one. And then you can actually back him without both Antrim Coast and I Will Be Bay. You can get 5-1, 6-1 for Dr. Elise's, and Don't Stop the Music is roughly around the 7-1 mark. So, look, there's a bit of value there. Like, look, if you back them without the two front fives, you're basically getting 5 places with the hope the 2 of them will come home and you're running in for third and you still pick up a winner. So, look, there's still plenty of value to shop around there. And again, like Paddy Power are great for the place only markets as well. So, look, if you want to have a bit of fun, you can have a top 5 finish there as well. 6-4, 11-10 for both our selections. So, look, again, I wouldn't go any deeper than a 5 each way or even €2.50 each way in either selections. But going into this race, I thought, feck it, we're not going to have any opinion, but we're after probably spending more time in this race, Mark, than any other race today. And so, no, in fairness, now we're after finishing the day there, spending most of our time on the bumper, which will both 2 horses we both tailed off at the end, which I can't wait
absolutely hacking, and then we'll be look. Hopefully, we get a run for our money, but I'm definitely no. I think we can't just keep going like it's probably favourite for a reason, but look, I'd rather have something small and fun on an each way selection at a bigger price than big bet on their trying to sweating there in the last and a bumper.
Yeah, exactly.
No chance.
We're not in the category where we can go have a monkey or have a ton on Willie Fav in the bumper. But look, come here again for anyone who does listen into this and it is kind of new to betting and gambling or even backing horses. If you do back these 2 horses today in the bumper, any horses of ours that we selected today, especially 2 bumper horses who are relatively new to the track, if they run well today and they don't even come into the money, put them into your tracker because they will be running again the next day and you'll forget about them, but you'll get your notification in your horse tracker and they may be one to follow, especially if they do run well today. So, Mark, listen, I think that's everything wrapped up for today. Any other news for us coming from Galway?
No, everyone's quiet here. The traffic wardens have been safe. The seagulls are still trying to attack me, eating my sandwich. But other than that, no, look, the week, sometimes you can hit a lull in the middle of it. I kind of did a bit yesterday, but look, rare and fresh to go today.
Yeah, I had about 20 missed calls off you yesterday and said, "Jeez, this lad is definitely after hitting the lull here in the week." So hopefully you're over that and you don't be annoying me too much today.
Annoying. Jesus, that's a harsh word early in the morning. I just, sometimes you need your buddy to talk to, but sometimes he just doesn't answer the phone. He's otherwise engaged. You know?
I was very busy yesterday, Mark, and
I
I was
won't
very
even
busy for
ask.
you.
I won't even ask. Because
And
number
come here,
one, I don't think our
I want to
listeners want to know. Number two, we don't want to hear any lies.
And come here, obviously, we want to say congratulations because our buddy, who's probably our number one fan, probably our only fan, Brian Callan and his better half. They obviously congratulations. So Kate Geraldine Callanan was born yesterday. So congratulations to Mark.
Claire is an Iron woman. She puts up a lot with Brian. No, in fairness, they're an amazing couple now, and they've welcomed a girl into their lives. So yeah, congratulations, Brian and Claire.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Now she'll be a nice claimer going forward because when we start up MG Racing Club, we'll need a good female claimer on board. A couple of our hot pots around Galway. So hopefully Kate Calnan will be a decent claimer for MG Racing going forward.
Exactly.
Right, Mark, listen, thanks very much. I will chat to you later on during the day. Thanks very much for everyone for listening. This has been MG Racing Galway Day 4 preview.
Perfect, guys. Cheers, Gary.